YouTube has announced that it is updating its qualifications for who is and isn't considered verified on YouTube, focusing more on people who are household names and those who need to distinguish themselves from similarly named creators. Naturally, this means that starting in October, I am no longer going to be verified on YouTube, and if I can't go into random small-ass streams and flex my checkmark to everyone in the chat, what's even the point? That checkmark was like a second dick to me. I whip that shit out everywhere I go, like, that's right, bitches, you may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. Tremble before my mighty sword. But so, since I will no longer be verified anyway, I figure now's as good a time as any to write an entire stream of consciousness about the N-word. Were you wondering about the title of this episode? It's definitely about the N-bomb, but that N ain't nitrogen. That's just how I cleverly skirt instant demonetization and then last at least a couple hours before it happens anyway. Will I be using the actual N-bomb at any point during this video, you may ask? And the answer is throughout, so consider this your precursory warning to evacuate the blast zone, cause these bombs about to get dropped. Just pretend I'm in a Quentin Tarantino movie and not give a shit, like you did when those movies made millions at the box office. Cool. This episode also takes place in the 1800s, because I say it does, so don't blame me for being a product of my time. Let's get into it. Firstly, I just want to say that I love the phrase N-bomb, as if hearing the word it refers to is akin to being hit with a thermonuclear warhead, after which you disintegrate into a mess of microscopic particles that are scattered by the wind. Now, you might say that I'm incapable of understanding the extent to which the word nigger, there it is for you, can negatively impact a person of a certain race's psyche, and that's where you're wrong, because I'm white. And nobody reacts more strongly to hearing that word than my people. Dude, it's crazy how intense the white guilt has gotten in our culture. You can put a white guy next to a black guy, shoot the black guy in the chest, the bullet will get stuck in his bulletproof vest, and the white guy will die of compassion. That's where we're at. In our quest to purge ourselves of our ancestors' sins, we've overcorrected and become these frail, triggered little pixies on behalf of other people. Fun little history thing real quick. In the early 1800s in the western United States, during the fur trade, the word nigger was spelled N-I-G-G-U-R and used endearingly to refer to people of all sorts of races. Literally like how black people use nigga today. If you've seen The Revenant, that movie where Leonardo DiCaprio gets racked by a bear, that's the time period I'm talking about. It says it was used similarly to how we'd use the word dude or guy today. So I can just imagine a husky Tom Hardy like fur trader meeting up with a Frenchman buddy of his like, "Arr, there be my favorite mountain man, what's up my nigger?" And the Frenchman's like, "Oh, is that you my nigger? Nice to see you again." Don't get mad at me, that's history my nigger. I already told you this video takes place in the 1800s. I'm just trying to keep the immersion intact. As far as 200 years into the future goes, the N-word has taken on plenty of new shapes. Some black people have culturally appropriated it. Yeah, I said it. We Europeans started that shit and you took it for yourselves. That's cultural appropriation, and frankly, you should all have your Grammys revoked. They dropped the R, known as the hard R, which is confusing to me because like most two-syllable words with no silent letters or pronunciation exceptions, I find it very easy to say if I need to. But for them, and for anyone who listens to rap and definitely sings along despite lying about it, it has become nigga. There are literally zero non-black people who rap along to gangsta rap and respectfully silence themselves when the word nigga comes up. If you're by yourself in your car and no one is there to hold you accountable, you don't even stutter. And nobody on your Twitter or Instagram believes otherwise, so stop being a poser. Own that shit. It's a fucking song. Who cares? You're not oppressing anyone. You're actually empowering and supporting black people by being so into their music that you buy it and learn all the words. You're an ally. Feel good about yourself. You helped pay for that dude's 5th gold chain for some reason. But black people aren't a monolith. They're no African hive mind. They, like the rest of us, are made up of a collection of free-thinking individuals who are also split on whether nigga should be used at all, even by them. Some of them see it as a power move of reclamation, others see it as history they don't wish to be consistently reminded of. I see it as a word that is unfortunately very fun to say. It is. If it wasn't, it would be less of a big deal, but the way it rolls off the tongue with no resistance, dude, if instead of nigga the word was like nibagluff, nobody would be trying to say it. It's too bad the hard R N-word didn't come from some Nordic language, because all those words are impossible to say and it would have been phased completely out immediately. But people still ask those popular questions. Why is it so hard for some people not to say the N-word? I've never said it. It's so easy not to say nigger. Oh, fuck. I know the answer. White people's obsession with the N-word at this point in time, and it's not just white people, you know, I see Asians and Hispanics saying that shit all the time, and people pay hardly any attention to them. The reason the N-word is such a tantalizing word for anyone who's told they can't say it is because we're told we can't say it. That's really it. There's like a fraction of a decimal point of a percent of the population that says it because they legitimately hate black people and are racist white supremacists. The rest of us are just rebels. That's seriously all it is. We were told we can't say this word, so now we're honed in on it. We were told we couldn't swear on TV, so we pushed the envelope until we could. We were told we couldn't put sex in movies, so we put sex in movies. It's in our nature to fight back against censorship. And some people are like, it's not censorship, it's being respectful, to which I reply that it is respectful censorship. I'm not trying to walk up to every group of black people I meet like, hey yo, sup niggas, but I will always reserve the right to say whatever the hell I want whenever I feel like it. And the only way you can prevent me from doing so is to kill me. That said, I am an intelligent human being capable of discretion and analyzing situations and determining what is or isn't appropriate at the time. But I'll be damned if someone's gonna tell me there's a word I can't say even by myself when no one's around and I'm listening to a song on the radio or something. No one has that kind of control over my life. You ever notice how people don't say the N-word, they use it? Or at least that's how it's often framed. I reject that. In this video, I am saying the N-word, which at this point refers to both nigger and nigga, which is why the N-word is a faster classification for both of these purposes. Using them implies there's some kind of tool that I'm implementing, or a weapon. You use a gun, or a knife. I only think people are using the N-word when they are literally calling black people niggers. That's using it as a weapon to inflict harm. But if I was way more famous than I am, and someone wrote an article about this episode saying Sunburned Albino used the N-word countless times in a racist tirade on his channel, that's just obviously misleading. I said it, not quite countless times, and always to make points about the words themselves, or funny jokes about them, which is equally respectable. Fun fact, this video is peppered with N-words, but the only even kind of racist joke in it is the one about buying rappers their 5th gold chain, and that shit doesn't even leave a scratch. When people talk about nuance in comedy, that's it right there. You have to actually think about these things. Labeling stuff at the behest of whatever buzzwords your brain is programmed to sound the alarm on does not cut it in the realm of adult conversation. Well, that's gonna do it for this spicy episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I will see you guys next time.